Just give it a minute or two, and then we'll start. Meanwhile, I'll just play with the chart, and maybe you pick up some few pointers. No, g'day, Carly. Well, I'll just lower the volume, and I'm going to just spend some time just showing some Fib things that you will pick up, and then you see the confluence. And while you wait, g'day Ito. And what is your thoughts on BTC? Will it keep breaking highs before going to the real dip? We'll get to those questions. And let's see how long have we been online. Just give it another minute for a few more to join. And then I'll look at the questions and I'll try to answer them. Press Control in and out. All right, thank you very much. Thanks, mate. I've got a new Mac, and I'm not a real Mac person. I'm a Windows person. So yeah, I'm still learning a few of the tricks on the Mac, and so everything will help. But anyway, let's have a look. So I'm going to lay out my analysis, and I picked up some new tricks, and I'm going to share those tricks with you. One is the Fib fan, and I'm going to explain what took place, how I drew this up, and so you can pick that up. And I'm also going to do the Fibonacci as well, and you might pick up some tips from the Fibonacci, and they come in handy. So I'll give you an example, and I just come across this the other day, to tell the truth. So where is it? I did the Fibonacci. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. The macro. Okay, that's not the one. Next one. Just bear with me, guys. Let's see, Okay, so where's my one? No, that's not the one. I'll do it here anyway. I remember what I did. I thought I'll put it there. Just give me a sec. I never realized, but you know, I was doing these lines, and I think it was from there to that point there. And if I bring this across, you're going to look at this. Play the 1.618 right on the, like, if I do this perfect, let me just get rid of these few things first. Give me a sec. It's a lot of noise. So what I did was 2 pivot points, 0 and 1. So if I could do this perfect, now if I zoom into this area, let me get rid of that rising wedge stuff. Look at this friggin' thing. Couldn't make this shit up. Look at that. Just spiked a little bit, but it's the golden ratio. Freaking hell, worked perfect. So yep, that one has a different ratio, and I can explain how I got that on. I've done it in the past, but you can see that was a golden ratio. So if I saw that before, I would have been much more convinced about selling. Anyway, so let's look at 2 parts. People who want to figure out what's going on here, and we'll look at the small time frame. And I do have a chart somewhere. Give me a sec. I'll just move this across. And in the background, I have the what is this? The daily. And I can look at the daily. And what we have is obviously some levels. And you can see my Fib extension. And what we have, realistically, if I was to do horizontal, that is our resistance there. And confluence here. And what's happened is, at this point, we've broken out of this wedge. Okay? And now we're trying to, we've hit our mark for this wedge. And now we're going to try to hold this level. So that's the neckline here of this breakout. So it got retested and it's holding. Then, and we've got the 10 and 20 moving averages here. This was really bad yesterday when it came down below the 10 and 20. And then, so they're playing games with us pretty much, because once it went up, the whales pretty much pushed it down on the smaller time frame below the 10 and 20, and that all the ones that were going long closed them, and then they pushed this up. Now what we have is this level here, trying to hold. That is the level that we're trying to hold. So it's nasty, to tell the truth. This is not good at all, but you can't trade it. As you can know, it's whiplashes and it's pretty much manipulated. So I read somewhere where there was a Binance whale, someone saying they can watch a Binance whale playing the ranges from here to there. So, and that's what's happening. What I believe is a lot of accumulations taking place. And if you look at the longs and the charts, they're at all-time high. And I think what they're trying to do here is shake the weak hands. All right, so the ones that accumulated are fine, and the weak hands, they're trying to shake them out before we go up. So I do believe we're going to go up, but not much. That's the thing. Now, what I'll do is, let me see if I've got another chart. Okay, here we go. This is the 1 hour chart. And we'll just cover this. Then if you want to hang it back, and I'll give you those other tutorials. So if you look at this, it changes direction, doesn't it? In the sense of it could be an ascending wedge. So they're playing games with us. What happened was we dropped below this line, and now we're trying to hold it. Pretty much. This is if you can see that's a 4 hour 200 moving average, which played perfect resistance. Still the resistance. So until we break that, we can't be bullish. You can accumulate, and I thought this would be a good area to buy. Once this came down, I thought this would be a good area. but these trend lines are obviously doing the job. And what's this one? This is the 233 moving average, which comes into play as well. So they both come at roughly around the same time for resistance. So if we can break that, that'll be perfect. Now here we are, and on the left we have our RSI still going up. And what we have with the RSI on the daily is this grind line. We're grinding along this line. So if we were to lose this on the daily, I think we'll come down much lower. Now let's look at the 4 hour. Someone's going, let's look at the 4 hour. Bearish? No, neutral. Not bearish, not bullish, to tell the truth, because we're not getting good information at all. We're having this, I believe we're more likely to go up than down. Okay, but I'll give you the reasons as to how high we're going to go. It's not going to be not that much. I'm bearish. All right, I'm bearish macro. That's if I'm going to summarize it, and I can give you the reasons for it later. Yeah, my daughter's calling me up. So if the question is, am I bearish? I'm bearish macro, but this is a relief rally in a bear market. Why are we bearish? We can get to that. It's not just Bitcoin or crypto. It's more to do with the bigger markets, the traditional markets. So what we can do is let's have a look at the traditional markets before we look at Bitcoin, just to see where they're at. So if we look at the SP 500 and US dollar, all right? On the right we have the US dollar, and what tends to happen is when we have so much money printed, and over the past few years, and all that money's gone to stocks, we've had this big bull run. Yeah, so the stock market is a bubble. Like, look at this. This is pretty much a bubble, and it comes to a point where it stops, break a trend line, and now we're going through this correction. I think so. What we have here is a trend line. We have our bound. I've done my Fibonacci's and all this. There's previous videos to explain all this. I don't want to go through it all again. We're having a bit of a rally here, and potentially we can have our ABCD. And where is that ABCD? So we got there to there, and we can have something like that there, along those lines, towards the 618, and then back down again. That's what I'm thinking. The US dollar, I've talked about the US dollar extensively, and if I was to go on the US dollar on the weekly, actually I should change this. Don't want that on the weekly. So what we have on the US dollar is an upward momentum. So we've done this. So these are the years, and we have this massive structure, and we're trying to break above the massive structure. And this line is a significant line of resistance, and that's a major Fibonacci. I've gone through it extensively. If we break this, then we're going to go to pretty much this upper level here. So that what's happening is interest rates are going up, CPI is going up, and it's likely that we're going to continue to go up with interest rates going up for controlling inflation. That's going to have and if you look at Peter Schiff's commentary, he does talk about the reasons why we're going to have a rise in US dollar and big inflation, interest rates. That's going to affect the markets. They can't keep printing the money, so that's why I'm bearish. And another guy, what's his name? Jeremy Graham. He predicted the the markets sometime back in 2008, and he made a fortune, and he's talking about it as well. So look him up, listen to what he has to say. But these are the reasons why I'm bearish. And from a Bitcoin perspective, it fits into the model. So let's go back to Bitcoin, and let's see how we go. Where are we? Okay, so right now we're ranging. There's no argument about it. If the RSI on the daily breaks on the this daily, if the RSI breaks on the daily, then this is going to be a bit bearish. We're going to have a bit more of a deeper pull, and we might come back down to here or further. So just got to be prepared for that. What looks like at the moment is an ascending channel, so we can get this, and it still fits the model. And if you use that the middle, we're going to have something that if you break this level, it's going to be bullish. Actually, I've got another chart. My daughter's annoying me at the moment. Sorry about that, guys. She's just whinging, and she won't take no for an answer. Give me a sec while I work out the next chart. Where is it? Bitcoin. I had it. Let me see, where's it gone? Is this the chart? All right, I'll have to do it. So looking at Bitcoin, I'll just manually explain it and how I think it's going to go. Let's just go in closer. Maybe the daily's good. Here's a fractal that we can look at. So we've got a downtrend. You see this point there? I'm not sure I've probably done it. Okay, that's the one. So if we look at that point there, no, that's the one. Just to give you a lesson, we had a descending wedge. So what we had is capitulation. We had that massive capitulation, selling climax, and a continuation pattern. We had a wedge, break out of the wedge, and what we hit, our 0.5. And then we came down. That's my reference point, and that's the reference point there. So 0.5. If you take that model and apply it to this one, now where are we? Okay, so what we have, I can get rid of that. Similarly, we have a descending wedge. We have our 0.5 up to here. So I do believe this is a grind line. So we're grinding up. We haven't coming to this apex really. You can see that, right? We're either going to break down or we're going to break up and hit this 0.5. That 0.5 is roughly about 33.5, which is in line with that level. Very much 0.5 is a strong resistance. We could potentially go to the 0.618, which is 34 or 35. This is ideal. This is where we will probably definitely drop. And if you look at any previous markets where we have a reversal and a nice accumulation, there is always a throwback to retest the bottom or nearabouts. So if we go to here, for instance, this was a bit more ugly. We had a breakout to the upside and then retest the bottom. So you have that. You got to have that test and pass it to go bullish. So this is, you can say this is a phase one, where we're going to look at getting to a level, either the 0.5 or the 618, and then coming back down. If we were to look at other levels, other charts, let's have a look at previous bull markets. It's not, this one, the COVID ones are very different, right? That structure is different, but you can see here, what we did was, okay, we had an ascending wedge, we had a breakout, and if I was to get my chart here, if we use that level as a reference, not the top, again 0.5 comes into play and pushes it down. So it does repeat, and then you got to see the support. A lot of people thought this will keep going down back then, just a bit lower, but obviously you can see this. And if you will look at on the RSI, you want to see it continually climb. This one came down to a wedge formation, and then once it broke up, that was confirmation that that was going to go up. And you can see accumulation, breaks to 0.5. As soon as it hits that 0.5, it breaks out. So if we apply these rules to where we are now, we can do the same analogy where we can look at this market and approach to go bullish. All right, so let me just clean that up a bit. Geez, there's a lot of... So in context, the 0.5 is a good number. If we were to add a volume indicator to this level, you will see that this point of control, what we call from volume perspective, we have one there, and we have another one roughly there. You can see it's close. Well, that's where we've got the wick, but we can also have this level here, which is close to the 0.618. So the range is there, but I will go with the 0.5 and then 0.618. How do you know it's going to be a reversal? Well, you'll see the candle, and you will look at the RSI. Take our RSI as a reference, and at the moment we haven't broken the 50%. We need to break the 50% as a changing trend, at least. So you can see how the 50% level, even here, you can see that. You just got to be very observant. Right here, 50% is we've got rejection. 50%, we've got the rejection. Until we break the 50% RSI, maybe we'll just get another bounce, and then we might just break this level here as a resistance. So we might just keep going sideways. And this is how you're going to enter the market. The 50%, so we had this breakout, and now we're ranging. So it's very difficult to tell you what's going to happen while we're going through that range. What we want to see is, if we break that, we go bearish. Until we break that, just keep being bullish on the daily. And right now here, you can see this is sideways. This is not going up, it's not going down. They're playing games with us, and it makes it hard. So, long or short, I'm mostly in cash at the moment, and I'm trading this range. So, why would you want to be in early? Why wouldn't you get some confirmation before we go bullish? So, the big picture is this for me. I think we're going to do this. Where is it? In my opinion, we're going to break it. Hold on, give a sec. In my opinion, and I'll show you how we measure the range. Okay, from this, we can grab that one, swing high, and swing low. okay, and you'll see these are my ranges. These are my targets. 618, 618, perfect, right? So that 618 is going to be a massive resistance, pretty much 35 grand. And you can see here 33 grand, roughly equates to this one. So we have a little range on each one, and it's my thinking from a big perspective, if you haven't seen it before. Let's do this. So you need to know Elliott wave theory to get some idea on what's going on. So this is wave 5. We're doing wave, if this is wave A, that's B, this could be C, right? So this is potentially a massive reversal. However, imagine this is wave A, and this is wave B. Where's wave C? Right? So we've got a few scenarios. You can be, and I think it's more of this picture. I do think this is more likely. And let's just hide that for a sec. What do we have also? Now, if we go to log, what we have for now is a good support level. If you look at that, at those, that's why we've got the bounce, support. It's my thinking, maybe give it a bit of take. Again, if it's a scenario where we hit that trend line and back down again. So this is going to be a difficult stage of trading. This is what can happen, is that drops and it goes really down. That's possible in a bear market. And if we extend this, so this is the middle of this descending wedge. If we were to break the 0.618, it's very possible. I can't remember why I got that long line for, but we can still retest and then, right? So we need to break this decisively to think a bit bullish. When do you want to go bullish? When you want to go full in? Well, I would think that if you break the 40K range, this level, yep, it could be late, but that is a strong resistance, and you need to break that before you can even consider going bullish. The weekly chart will give us a clue in regards to if it is bullish. So if we look on the weekly chart, actually I'll give another one. I'll do another one. Let's look at the monthly chart. Let's get rid of that for a sec. The monthly chart, we had a bullish candle, and look how the monthly is ending. It's actually dropped below it. And most occasions, and this is what I've observed in the past, every time there's a massive bear candle, you don't go bullish until you have a bullish candle. So this bearish candle, this initiated the bull market. Bearish candle, bullish candle, this one here, bull market. Bearish candle, and then a bullish candle, bull market. So we had a bearish candle here, a bit of a reversal candle, and not so impactable. Here, you can see there is no reversal yet. So let's see how the month finishes. But if you look at the now, once we've got those charts there, if you look at the RSI as a reference, Let me just highlight that a bit in detail, just make it thicker. You can see, and if I were just to apply these simple rules from a monthly perspective, just basic stuff. From RSI, if I cross that average, moving average, it's bullish, right? Bull market. If I do the same here, we had a good increase. And similarly, when we break that, we have a drop. And similarly, when we drop this, we go bearish. And very similar, when we break that, we have a bearish market. Very simple with the RSI with this moving average, if you want to do the big moves. So, this is a long way to go. This got a long way to go before we can, and that, if I was, you know, that's like October, if I was to just guess. So that's one method of doing it. If you look at the monthly, previous low is right there. That's a previous low. You can see we didn't quite get there yet, like the other times on the monthly. So the indicator, this is basic indicators, and here you can see, no kidding, you got a straight line. Let's just get rid of that extension. And you can see pretty much bearish divergence, guys. So what we want to do is, let's see how the monthly does this. If we were to use that monthly, we want to see it break this at least. First part is to break this trend line on the monthly. All right, weekly is a bit earlier, so we're going to have a look at the weekly, but that's pretty much it. Here, if I was to apply this, we break it here. It's a bit earlier rather than up here, and this one's a bit more difficult to do, but anyway, so that's what we got there. And if we were to look at it, once we break that trend line, you can see a bullish candle, and we haven't done the pattern there. I suppose that's a horizontal pattern. Maybe you can do this one. If we were to assume very close to a bull market, this Phoenix is pretty much the same. You can see the Phoenix is RSI and red, green and red are all down. The orange is down. There is no reversal anytime soon in the monthly. That it doesn't. It takes a while for it to reverse. So this Phoenix is very similar to that, where that crossover. So this was earlier crossover there. This was pretty much indicating up here that's going to go bearish once these crossover, and you can see the monthly does help on the bigger picture. If we go into the weekly, now we have a different story. Bit more quicker responsive. Let's just get rid of these lines for a sec. I do not like, but these are the tools that you can have from that perspective. So what I'll do is I'll adjust that, and I'll just use that. So what this looks like, it does look like a bottoming. And if we were to do that, you can see why we've got a bit of a support. What's like, remember I was talking about on a weekly basis. Let's just get in closer. Come on. Maybe I'll just get rid of this one for a sec. And just stretch this out a bit. So if we were to get a bounce, it's very likely, this is going to be resistance. So from here, we can get a bounce and look for the reversal when it comes to that level. So if we were to keep an eye on the weekly, we get this, maybe it'll go down again, I don't know. That's going to be resistance. And that's going to probably equate to the 618. Just got to keep an eye on it. Got to keep an eye on both. And if you get a bearish candle, that's pretty much it. On the daily, we use the same technique. Okay? So if you want to know what the target is on this, I've discussed this on my previous streams. So there's a few levels. I'm looking at 15K at the moment as a good level, and then we'll see how it goes. Now, there's no point of me guessing until we get past this. There's a way of measuring the targets, and I can talk about that later on. If you still want to hang around, I'm going to give tips on using the Fib fan and the Fibonacci. So that's a bit later on. So in terms of the bigger picture, this is what we have. I do think we're going to go to the upside. So if we look on the weekly, give me a sec. What drawings there? And I'll leave that there. So we've covered that. The descending wedge or triangle, if we're to just do that, the RSI reflects it 100%. So me drawing these lines is actually supported by the RSI. And so what we look at here is we've got two weekly candles looking bullish. One's a reversal. This one's not. This one's not finished, but you can see a resistance level. So just by looking at these charts, and maybe I should just change these. Give me a sec. As if we're a bit better. So if you look at that, and if you recall how I did that Fibonacci extension, let's go to the daily. Remember that? Swing low, swing high, swing low. We get these fibs. You can see that is our resistance, that one there. That is our resistance along with the moving average. So if we chuck our moving averages in there, so we're building up a case, and you can see the trend line, I suppose. So, and this is the big macro. If you remember this blue one, that's the big macro trend line that's gone on for way from 2000, whatever it was, early days. So what we had is we had a dip before it. Doesn't have to be perfect. We can imagine. Let me just fix that up for a sec to suit our story. At the end of the day, these wicks, if we would just move this a bit, it might satisfy us. Okay, let's do the daily. All right, we're going to assume that's the case. Okay, so we have this trend line acting as support, and there's a Fibonacci for it. We can get rid of these red lines now. We've pretty much done it. So, like I said, we have a nice breakout to the top, stopped by the 200 moving average on the daily. So where are we? Let's change this for a sec. Add what was it? So what I can do here, I'll pick my 4-hour chart, moving average. I'll put my 200 there, and it's the where we go. It's our EMA and style. Make it thick, and you can see how the 200 EMA has has played resistance there. This one is a 20, I think it is. A 21 moving average has also played a roll on the way down. So there's a number of moving averages. So you can see this 200 4-hour moving average is acting as resistance as well as this trend line. So along with the Fib, it's a strong resistance. And the programs or the bots or whatever it is, strong resistance. This is a strong resistance. So when we break this, go bullish. Pretty simple. Until then, don't. Apex, either there or there. And the RSI reflects that. Our RSI, if we go back down, and that moving average of the RSI is the same. If we drop the moving average of the RSI, it's the same. So it equates. That trend line equates to this trend line, pretty much. And if we drop below this trend line, rest assured we're going to drop. Where are we going to drop? Back to this level here. Revisit this lower level. We've got the 200 moving average, so it might come down to 27K if we to drop that and find some support. That's what I think. That's a weekly 200 moving average. So I would find that there might be some support there as well. I am, with this type of capitulation, it's generally a range. So if we were to drop, they get panicking. We're still in the range. This is the range. Unfortunately, it's nasty, but and they've got the mid range. All right. So when you have a range, you always have a middle, and this is going to be our middle. So if we drop this, then we're going to likely have a bottom range, and then when we get the up range, then we can go up. So this can be playing out. If we see that, you go bullish. So as soon as it comes down, if this was to come down, I would look to accumulate and then up, and again those level, and then we've got this 200 moving average coming down, which is also likely to be strong resistance as well. So the scenarios are there. One day, TF, was that TF? Too complicated chart, overcomplicated for the newbies. Yeah, it's a lot. So how do I simplify it? I'm giving you the scenarios. For the newbies who don't understand all this, stick to this apex. If we break this level with this moving average, go in, all right, knowing that this is going to be resistance. So even if this comes here, it's going to break, but it's likely to continue, in my opinion, to this level or to that level. That's simple as I can put it as. And if it was to break it, then it's likely to come down more, because this is a struggle. This is a grind line. So similar, very very typical of Bitcoin is it comes to a symmetrical decision. They don't give you a clue. And I'm going to favor the upside because of this. But if this was to break down, this is also to break down, and then we are here. That's as simple as I can make it. I'm giving you the reasons for being resistance. These are the reasons to be finding resistance. This is another resistance level, and there are levels to this. These are the two levels that I'm interested in. If we were to get to this level and it doesn't drop, then be rest assured that that's probably the next level here with these moving averages. See here what we've got? We had a range here before. That was our range. That was our range. We had this fake out and down. So if this is our range, we can have a fake out and down. Yep, a continuation pattern. if you want to know more about why I'm bearish, we can have, just give me a sec. Where are we? It's one of these videos, I think. So you can see what I'm looking at, key levels. Okay. The easiest way I can put it is one of my charts. Give me a sec. Hopefully I didn't override it. Let's come to the daily. Hopefully it's there. Okay, that's not the one. There's a reference I'm going to show you. Just give me a sec. Pick up a line. I should pick that up, shouldn't I? All right. So what we can do. Okay. We see this diagram. You can see how we are aligned. This is my belief. We did our top, which is here. We did this middle section, which is here. We did this, which is here. And now we're in this section. All right, that's one example of our charts. And once we get through that, this drop, I don't know how much it's going to be, but it's going to be accumulation. So, is it going to drop further than we expect? Yep. So that's one level I have, which is about the 20K is pretty much a level that I think 18 to 20K, I think it could capitulate and then we range. And 25 might be the resistance and then we go up. The worst case scenario, it drops down to 15K and we have this range and then we go up. So that's my thinking. According to your opinion, it will climb on 4 hours and or come down. Well, there's the levels there. I can't tell you if it's going to go up or down. It's just very difficult to tell you. I'm bullish up for the 4 hours. I don't care. It's a range. You got to trade this the formation or the setup. Knowing when to short, when to long. I did the short at the right time, so actually might give you a lesson on that some other time. But the trading setups are trading the range is very specific techniques. You can't just guess. Okay, shorts and longs. The range, you can do anything in that range. It doesn't matter. You want to know the big picture, or you just want to learn how to trade. That's the big picture trade. So most of my money is in cash, and I'm waiting for the big picture to chuck 100% in. And until I get that signal, I'm not going to guess. Here, I think this is a range, and then it's going to drop. This range could go up to 37, if we're lucky. 35 is the first, 37 is the second, 40 is just the third. It could go up to that level. So from there, we could go up to 40K. I don't think it will go higher than that, but that's being very generous. This you can see actually we can say here's an example for you. Here's the lessons for you. Let's do BTC USDT. I've got nothing there. Okay. You're going to see the lessons learned. here. Very, very similar. If you know how to approach this market. Yeah. In a way, we had that channel. You can say we had this. It's bigger range. It looks bigger, but it's not. Okay, so if we look at this, and now what we're going to do is look at what we got. Now you can see here, if I move this line back, the 200 moving average is 200 over there. That's the 200 moving average. 200 moving average. Twice it knocked it back. $200 moving average knockback. Now, if we were to assume that that's the bottom to the top, the 618 or the 68 became, or the 200 moving average became resistance. If we do the macro, very similar. Let's just move this closer in so we can fit them both. We had our grind line as well. Very, not the same shape, but the concept. So we had our all-time high, we had our, and this is where the big picture comes in, and I'm going to give you a good lesson. We had our A, we had our B, and now we're looking for our C, right? We had our, and this is another thing that you need to know, that's our 1, that's our 2, that's our 3, and what we had our A, B, C. Here we have our 1, we have our 2, and we have our 3 all-time high. This is a strategy. And then we had our A, B, C. That's what we're looking for. So we've got the 1, 2, 3 moves, and then A, B, C. That is our fifth wave there. We're having an A, B, C. This is our fifth wave. So actually this is 1, sorry. We're looking for our 2, wherever that is. And then we're going to have our 3. Could be up here. So, and wherever the bottom is, so if we were to get that bottom and we get the top, if I were just to change that Fibonacci, you'll see the 618. So if we were to get the bottom and we do our top, our 3 is going to probably take place wherever that bottom is. So if it's 15K, it might, so if that's our ABC all the way down, just like that, I think that's our A, B, and C. All right, that's our fifth wave there. We can see that the cycle taking place. So what we're likely to do, we have our rally, and this, I think this should have been a double bottom and then up, but the COVID stuffed it up. So we're gonna, if we have the same, we're gonna find resistance. We're gonna pull back maybe to there, and then we're gonna go up. It's not just straight up. That's my thinking. We just need to know what the bottom is. That could be the bottom, and therefore it doesn't really change, does it? The target doesn't change much where the target is. So if that's our bottom, I don't think this can be the bottom, or that could be the bottom. I'm not sure. But there's another whole method to finding the bottom. I have ranges. I've talked about that before. So you can see the cycle coming into play. This here just went above the trend line and hit the 618. and the 200 moving average. If we're lucky to get that, we'll do the same. So if we bring that there, and that's our all-time high, the recent time, this is going to be, so getting away from what I did before, this is our current scenario. Yep. And it's likely, in my opinion, you can see how this, there's a grind line, so we don't know what's going to happen, but there's a grind, and then it capitulated. We haven't had capitulation. So it's very likely, whatever happens, this is going to be a bit of a battle to lose. So once we go up, it's going to take a while and then drop. And that's nice. That's what we want to see. And when we get that, that's your bottom. You want to see this capitulation take place. We had a capitulation here. Remember the monthly candle I was talking about with a massive sell? If we look at the monthly chart, this is the scenario I'm looking at. No, can't do it here. It's the wrong chart. But the monthly candlestick, capitulation candlestick with a bullish rally, that is what we're looking for. And we had that one in early days as well. So this model, a massive bearish candle and then slowing down and then up we go. So we have strong candles, but it's going to take us. So what's happened is, I think we're in this phase here, very similar. I think we're going to do this. Where are we? Give a sec. If I was to grab that, very similar, not 100%, obviously. Stop moving, crap. So we can do that. So that's 17K there. So what we have, monthly candlestick. These are our major levels. Monthly candlestick. Monthly candlestick. And this monthly level. Hold on. Got one there. That equates to the 0.5, roughly, these candlesticks, at the wicks. This is a very strong support level. If we were to capitulate like that, perfect. I'll be looking to buy here. And if I was to do something else, if I get my bottom Fibonacci to the top, what else have we? Have confluence. The 0.5 is there, 14K. Okay, that's doable. It's in the range. Risk to reward ratio is much better there than there. Yeah, it's bearish. That's what, you don't like it, tough. The climate is bearish. Stock markets are bearish. Inflation, CPI announcements, it's going to come down. How it's going to come down, how far it's going to come down, no one knows. But this is my advice to you, to hold back most of your cashes. And if the other conditions come first, in regards to, what do you call it? The RSI, where it starts changing on the monthly candles, or the monthly RSI or the weekly RSI changes, then you change your mind. At the moment, this is a thesis. It's only a theory. Theory is based on levels. For now, 618 is always a strong support level. So this here, to me, 21K, 21, 22K is strong. How do I know? Let's look at this. This chart talks about the orders, and it's if you know the company, it's Trading Light. If we look at it, if we're getting close, these are the bids. These are all bids that is from Binance. And if I look at that, so it comes down to 10K. So there's bids at 10K, and the top is all the sells, asking prices. And so 61K at the moment is the asking price. This was historical. People thought, yeah, 93,000. So they had 85, 90. Even then, back then, they they had 130k. That's all the previous history asking prices, and this is where we are now. So currently, asking price is about 60k as a maximum. Now, when we look at it closer, these white lines, if I was to do that, that's got 630. That's got the most at 25k. That's a 26k, and as you get closer, there's less, isn't there? They're not really asking for much. Like, there's not big orders. There's some orders at 28k, and so on. Now, if you look down here, yeah, let's get rid of that. 20k. There's a 19, 20k. There's some big orders here. So we have orders at these levels, ranging. And as this goes sideways, this seems to be dropping. And it's going to be very difficult to figure out what it is. But this at the moment, as you can see, I have an ascending wedge. This could be bearish for all you know. This can potentially lose. But I still think, like I said, we have 3 ranges. And if I were to go back to my old chart and look on the daily and get the lessons from before, we had a capitulation here. We had our bottom and top range. And then when we lost it, when we lost that level, we had a bottom range, didn't we? So we spent a bit of time up there with this capitulation and tried to hold it, and then we dropped. And then off it went. That model could apply here. Yeah, we could probably go a bit higher to 34, 35, whatever, and then come down before we go up. That's another model. But this took, what was it? I think it's like May till July. Pretty much 3 months, close to 3 months of accumulation before we made a big move. I don't think we're going to have that big move. I think we're going to have this kind of move. Up to there and then down. Yeah. So that's what we got. Another 3 months all day. 3 months or sideways of a big range. And you need to keep an eye on this. Look at the stock market. As long as these keep going up, Bitcoin's good. But if this keeps going up, Bitcoin's not good. And the stock markets will drop. This keeps going up, stock markets keeps dropping. This goes down, stock market goes up, crypto goes up. Let's look at NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ is a technology space. And spent more of the time than I thought. But anyway, so the NASDAQ is pretty much looking good, to tell the truth. I'm thinking it might come down. So we have this bullish formation. I think it might come back down a bit. Don't know. But the NASDAQ is aligned with crypto. And I think this is the area. So if you look at this chart, I think this is the 4-hour chart. I do feel like this is the area of resistance for the NASDAQ. It equates with my ABC against the 200 moving average. So very similar to Bitcoin. If it drops, Bitcoin's going to drop. Okay. What was I going to talk about? Here we go. So the NASDAQ, if you look on the weekly, when did we drop NASDAQ? December. All right. All-time high in December. Let's add Bitcoin to it. Here we go. I might have to do a bigger chart. Why is Bitcoin not coming into it? Because of the log, sorry. Here we go. So, NASDAQ hit its all-time high and dropped. So if we clear that up, Bitcoin hits its all-time high, NASDAQ hits its all-time high, NASDAQ drops, Bitcoin drops. Bitcoin drops quicker, obviously. And when NASDAQ goes bullish, Bitcoin goes bullish. And obviously, this is a topping off motion. NASDAQ just kept going. You can see when we dropped this moving average, NASDAQ dropped a fair bit. There's a bit of delay there with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still trying to do its own thing, but there's correlation all the way through at this juncture. Now, there's one more chart, and I can show you when we compare NASDAQ with Bitcoin, like here. So this is Bitcoin over NASDAQ. This is the price. So for now, we had this ascending trend. So, Bitcoin right here, Bitcoin over NASDAQ. What we want to see is if Bitcoin starts beating NASDAQ, very similar to Bitcoin pricing at the moment. Got a rejection. So NASDAQ's going slightly bad against, so Bitcoin's dropping against NASDAQ. So this is worth watching. All right, that's another tool. You can see that this was a pretty much ascending wedge, and we broke it. And it tested the top, like Bitcoin was going sideways, that range, bear flag, and it dropped. There is no difference. This, Bitcoin, and NASDAQ, same. They're in line. And so if this was a drop, it falls into the wick-off distribution model. So if I was to desktop, it's one of a few models. Go to Bitcoin. Let's look at the bigger picture. 3-day will probably be better. All right. This model fits our first climax. So this is the neckline. So this is our piece of PSY, our BTC, our UT, and retest UT test. And you can see the LP, we just finished this stage there. We are very much around here, just below this support line. But the thing is, you can see how it wiggles a bit. It ranges a fair bit before it drops the support line. And that's what we're going through, that phase. You see any other one? This is a schematic. You can say Bitcoin reflects this distribution model as well. Very, very, very similar. This is another schematic that really aligns with Bitcoin at the moment, and then drops. So even though the indicators show us that they're going to be a bit of a rally, the rally is not going to be significant. So just be patient and look for either your own interpretation or you join a channel like ours, our group. It's for free for 10 days. Very small fees for ongoing. I think like $40 every 3 months. $40 for 3 months, and you're going to make a big investment to know when to go in, when I give the signal to go in. Might get it right, might get it not perfect, but you're going to have some idea if you don't have an idea. But anyway, I've gone through all that. Now, that's pretty much it. Now, what I'm going to do is the next phase, if you still want to hang around, I'm going to show a few Fibonacci techniques, Fibonacci fan. And yeah, but I'm pretty much done talking about Bitcoin. Now I'm going to just demonstrate some techniques, some tools. And you might pick up some lessons. Where are we now? Okay, some skills that will come in handy as soon as I find my chart. I think this is the one. Yeah, where's the white one? Okay, all right. Let's clear that up. I'm going to actually. So let's clear this up. Index. All right. So this stage is going to be talking about Fib fans and all the rest. Okay. All right. Get away. Clear it up. I'm going to clear up all this moving averages. Just make it basic. This one here. Okay. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right. So here's a Fib fan technique. Where's this one? That's not the one. And this is the one. Okay. Is it this one? All right. Here we go. First exercise. So what we're going to do is draw our line, and I've drawn these lines from the top to the bottom. Okay. This box. So we're going to draw. I'm going to show you how to do the Fib fan, which is your Discord channel. All right. What I'll do is Discord channel. I don't know if you can find it, but it's Trade to Prosper. What I'm going to do, if I think this is how you do it. I get that, copy, and I'll just paste it. Then I'll add you to the members group, and then you can start seeing it. But a lot of the stuff we'll do on the Telegram, but the Telegram one, this one here, it's bot orientated. So what I'll do is, give me a sec. Let me just get this out the way. That one there. So that's my Telegram channel. And if you follow the bot, it prompts you for 10 days free. Join 10 days free, you've got nothing to lose. Okay, and that will give you access to this level. And we talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, that's the Telegram, and the Discord is. I haven't finished with the Discord automation bot. So at the moment it's all manual. So I just add you manually to the group. Once you join in, I add you to the membership group, and you have access to all of them. And yeah, so we have this kind of stuff. Actually, I'll retrieve these buggers. Unarchive. Yeah, so a bunch of whole lot of stuff there. Anyway, that's where it is. So going back to this, the Fib fan is this bugger. If you haven't learned, Fib fan. What the Fib fan does is Fibonacci, but on an angle. Okay. So what we do is there's two methods. I'm going to do the quicker method. What we do is we draw a line. Hold on. Top to bottom, we draw that line, and that line will be used with this tool, and that tool is this date and price range. Very simple. You get the top, and you get the middle to the bottom. Okay? Pretty much like that. Then you get this, you copy it, and you just add it to it. So you add it to the side. Hold on, what did I do there? That's, oh, okay, I did the wrong thing. Here we go. Actually, let me just reverse this. What's this? Okay. Getting a phone call. So what we do, I don't know why it's not the same. It's supposed to get the same. What does it shrink it? Stupid thing. It's not meant to shrink it. Damn it. What is it shrinking it for? Let's do that again. Oh. That sucks. Automatically just adjusts itself. I've got no magnet on. Alright. So what I do is I get that, duplicate, and I add it to the next one. Align it perfectly. Okay. Then I get my fib fan. There we are. I get to the top and see the 1/4 has to line up with that. So this 1/4 has to line up with that line, and my 1 has to pretty much cross that circle. So that's my fib fan on the way down. And you can see, it's no coincidence, we get a rejection. So if I was to just get rid of that for a sec, you can see the fib fan pretty much acting as resistance there. You can see the fib fan playing support along that line, and so on. All right. So if this was, so what does a fib fan do? If this was to go bullish, we can use that fib fan to be either a pivot point to the downside or support. It comes in handy, but that's only one fib fan that we've done. So that's, now what we have is the same. So what we can do is now get rid of these. Where are we? Is this my, okay, so I can get rid of that and just create these guys. So I'm going to hide that. Similarly, I'm going to do the same. I get my bottom and my top. Actually, excuse me. Easy, aren't I? Like that. Bottom to the top. Like that. And add it to it. Okay. What we do is get the fib fan. Similarly, we need the 1/4 to the top. Okay. Now you can see, just by that, if I was to just get rid of those boxes for a sec. Leave that there and leave that there. Actually, maybe just leave that out for now. What you can see now with this fib fan is, you can see the resistance not quite there, and you can see, actually, if it's perfect enough, okay, that's good enough. We see that fib level acting as resistance along that. Coincidence? Not really. Now you'll say, well, why is all this? Hold on, let's get rid of this blue line. Where I got this blue line from? Okay, that's from before. So that blue line there is pretty much 2 lines. Hold on, where is it? I have 2 lines here, and when I get rid of the log, it crosses over. And it's played a support and roll at a point. So now if I was to combine both of them, now we have this matrix of support and resistance of pivot points. That's basically the tool you use for FibFan. Now we can do the bigger picture in the same way. Okay, so what we do, we just hide these. I haven't done this before, so let's have a look at this. Pretty much lined up. Get our FibFan and get our quarter, and you can see pretty much the FibFan is playing its role. And even here, bit of support there. So now you can see how it comes in handy. There's other ways of doing it. So we've got the vertical Fibonacci, but we also have this FibFan that can come in handy. There is no easy way. So what we can do is just get rid of this. And similarly, we get it from here. Make that top. I think that's close enough. Yep. We duplicate that. Why we duplicate? It's just to confirm. So actually, let's go back one. We didn't confirm, did we? So if we do this, the one is exactly on the box. So the whole idea is to get the box aligned with the fib, the one to one, to that corner of the box. So bring this back. We get our FibFan. Very similarly, we put our quarter, and now we're just got to get rid of that noise. You can see how it's acting as support, maybe give or take. So our one is not the best spot there. We need to. I didn't do this perfect enough. Okay, so this if you don't get it good exactly, we can, it deviates a bit. Okay. And I think that, yeah, so now just do that again. I think that's perfect there. And where is my FibFan? Okay. So my quarter and my one is roughly there. So we've got that there. And this is perfectly there. Now we can see, you can see how the FibFan again plays its role there, plays support along this line, act as support, resistance. Obviously this is different, there's another reason, but you can see how there's a lot of confluence here. That should have held it. You can see even those levels where it becomes confluent. So this is the FibFan, and whoops, okay. Where's this one? Okay, so we'll put that there. So we didn't get anything at the top, and there could be another reason for that. And I'll have a look at it. But anyway, my goal was to give you this understanding how to use a fib fan. Now, if you're still interested, now we can talk about the Fibonacci. In most cases, and this is where Elliott wave theory comes into play. How can I do this? Let's go to my website. So my website is about training, and this is the stuff that we can talk about. There's a lot of stuff that I'm putting for case studies, what you can learn off, strategies, and so on. What I have, I'm getting lost again. What was I going to do? Distracted myself. Okay, Elliott wave. Elliott wave theory. Just a quick one for you guys. So Elliott wave theory. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 3 to 4 is the most complex. And then you have the last one. This, what we tend to do, if I've got one here, is there's a few ways of measuring it. One is you put the bottom as 0 and the top of wave 3 as 1. So you have 0 and your pivot point is 1, and then you get these extensions. And these are the extensions that we're interested in for the target. So if you know wave 2 to 3 is usually the biggest and the strongest wave. So if you were to, I'm just doing a quick explanation. I'm not here to teach everything. Where do we go? Okay, so where we go? So if we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually maybe I should do this. Give me a sec. If I get that. So I'll take a picture. I can use this now. Back onto the other chart. So what we have, can we shrink this? Yeah, we can shrink it. Or even, give me a sec. I'm not doing a good job, am I? Let's do done. Stuff that up, didn't I? Let's do that again. All right, just leave it at that. Control. Go back to our chart. And what we have here, based on Elliott wave theory, we had our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we do that in dark, that's basically what we had. And I think many people will agree on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And no. Where'd it go? sorry guys, the goal of measuring targets, and I'll go back to this. If you can recollect what I said, if I get the Fibonacci, the bottom is 0 and here is 1. Okay, so if we do that, and you can see now that's my reference point for 1, and that's my reference point for 0. This is wave. Actually, this is wave. I won't go into it. It's going to confuse the hell out of you guys. That is my all-time high, all-time low. And what I want to do now is add the Fibonacci's between the 1.618, which is the 1.272, and where's the 1.414? Okay, these are the main ones for targeting. Now you can see why we had a sell-off here at the 1.414, and we dropped below the 1.272 because there's a reason. I won't go into it, but you can see the 1.618 was all-time high at the time, this wave, and then we had this ascending wedge, and it went up a bit higher, and that can happen. But the thing is, if you weren't greedy, that was a fake out, and you finished. There's a whole strategy of how to trade this, including an ascending wedge, and that was your shorting position. But what I'm trying to say is, you can see that this Fibonacci, macro Fibonacci, if you have no idea, now watch this. If we move this back, see this one here? Let's just pull that line back. Make sure we get it 100% right at the wick. We get the wick. Yep, that's the wick. That's our value. And we need to make it our 1 value. I think that's the value there. Okay. Now, if I was to, actually I should have done that first. Now you can see that's become resistance. We have a strong resistance because we dropped below it. Now this Fibonacci is our resistance. Plenty of good reason for it, along with the other stuff that I spoke about before. Now so you got to know how to apply Fibonacci at the right time, at the right place. So we've got this one. That's a local, and you can see the 0.5 in that, from that pip scenario, from there to there, it's also close to the 0.5. What I'm interested in is 2 ways of doing this. This wave is important. Now our 0.5 is up there. So if we were to break this level, the next level is the 0.5 level. This is one way of doing it. The other Fibonacci method is Fib Extension. And we go back to Fib Extension here. That's one way of doing it, just a Fib Extension. Let's see, where's the other one? I actually haven't done it here. Okay. So the other way of doing it is swing high, swing low, Fib Extension. It's very similar. You get that. You get from the bottom to the high to the low. And just make sure put that there. Let's move this across. Now you're going to see the confluence. So a 1.414 is still there, strong resistance. However, even the 1.272 is there. Okay. Now you can see the 1.618 played its role along this line, ever so slightly. You can see 1.618 playing its role. Resistance here, resistance there for this one here. If we do the Fibonacci to the downside extension, so if we do from that to the bottom to the top, let me just get this into a different color. And what I want to do is I'll get rid of this so it doesn't confuse you. I'll get rid of this. Now you can see, we're going to tweak this a bit. Doesn't always work perfect. We're going to line up some things that make sense. And I'm going to pick this all-time high, not this one here. It's just more consistently a resistance. And now I feel comfortable with the 0.5 being the resistance there. And now we can see again these levels of that Fibonacci, and you can see the 1 acting as support. So if we were to lose this level and we were to go, this is the next level to visit, and the next level, and so on. So if we were to, and if we're thinking that's going to go up there and back down, this is a good level. And so that's the Fibonacci technique. Yep. So when you look at this, go over it a few times, you will learn how to apply Fibonacci from many perspectives, but you need to understand reference points. If your reference point is to the uptrend, you apply your Fibonacci that way. If your reference points to the downside, if we're thinking this is a, remember I've spoken about, okay, this is our A, hold on, where are you? If we think this is our A, hold on, get rid of that. Got the wrong one. That's your A, small B, that's a small wave, right? That's the current scenario. And we have this little micro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wherever it is. And then we have the bigger ABC, which is engulfs that. That's our A, that's our B, cook up to there, cook up to wherever it is, and that's our C. And the moment, and this is what's important, we don't know. So you think of a jigsaw puzzle, and if a piece is missing, you're not going to finish it, right? So what we're looking for, to have a better idea of where the bottom is where B is. So we need to see the reversal and then downwards. That will be our reference to B. From B, we can actually work out where C is going to be, likely to be. Okay, so here we go. So let's get rid of these for a sec. Now, we're going to play a scenario where, let's do this. Let's say B is here, that we get this rally. And all right, hold on, let's just put on the more realistic. Let's do this. We're going to put our moving averages. I think B is going to be roughly there. Just say if we get a bit of a bullish rally, these moving averages come. If these moving averages keep coming down like that, hold on, let's do this. Reference point there. Maybe that's our reference point. Just do a different color. And now we can get rid of this one because we don't need it at the moment. Now, if that's our bigger picture, what we can do is get the Fibonacci, swing high, swing low, swing high. Now, if that's where we find the reversal to the downside, we're going to have a better chance of finding the target. Yep, and the 618, well, the 0.5 is there, 618 is there. 10K. Some people say it's 10K, just based on a few things. 10K, and they say even worse, it might dip down to 8K, which is that range because of this monthly area and so on. Some people say that. That's the worst case scenario. Now, I would say using this Fibonacci, 1 is a good target. Remember I said 15K, 13K is also a good target, and that's the second worst case scenario. 618 is a good scenario. It equates to the 1, previous all-time high, 618. So I do think it's also got the moving averages. This area could get, so if we were to go there and we have a plunge, we could do that as well. And that will be a pivot point. If that was a pivot point, January, I don't know. It just really depends how it does it, right? So using this Fibonacci extension, if we have our second reference, that's one way. But we're not 100%, are we? So is this the play that's taking place? And that's all there's going to be? And then we get a reversal? We don't know until we see the indicators at the time tell us. All we can do is plan to measure it. So the current method is, so far that's taking place. That doesn't seem right. Here's the reason why. This is a measured move. What I mean by a measured move, I'm going to show you. That's a measured move from there to there. I'm going to get that. I'm going to apply it to there. So I'm looking at 17, 18K just by that equation. That equation applies a lot, many places where you got, and this is a tool for it. It's a harmonic. I'm giving you too much at the moment to get Gary, but that could be very possible. If I was to draw this to scale, it's very different. We've got a logarithmic, so it's to the eyes. And if we look at other Fibonacci methods, so if we're to put this back, it equates to the 1. So that gives me a good confidence that 17K is a good level. 20 to 17K, this and that is a good range. And we have this here, previous support and all-time high. So that level is a good place to start averaging in, I would imagine. And at the time, so if that is with the assumption that this drops this level, then we'll come back down further. So anyway, that's, I think, sums it up, giving you a fair bit of a introduction to Fibonacci fans, and in this case, Elliott wave. Elliott wave is very complicated. You need to be an expert. The more time you spend on it, and I'm nowhere near an Elliott wave expert. I'm just know the big picture, and therefore there's a lot of rules involved. So study it, and hopefully you can be good at it. And that's it, guys. I'll wrap it up. Please give me a like and a share, and come and join our group in our Telegram or Discord, and we'll talk to you soon. Look for the next one. All right. Last minute, 4-hour chart. I just want to see what's currently happening. Let's have a look. And that, let's see, where are we? Okay, so there's nothing special going on with Bitcoin. Yeah, that's nasty. It's just all over the place. So I entered my short there, took some profit there, and I thought overnight, I bet you it's going to bounce, and it did. So, and then you can see, okay, so it didn't get above. So the 4-hour shows you these wicks. Okay, it's nasty. You can't trade that. Anyway, so that's it, guys. I'm sure the alts will. Let's see what the alts are doing. Ethereum's all over the place. Actually, I think I shared this. I think Ethereum's going to do well. It's got a bullish divergence in the making. On the daily, let's see on the daily. Yeah, so I do see this. Actually, it was a 12-hour, I think. Yeah, the 12-hour looks good. I think Ethereum against Bitcoin in the short term. I think the alts are going to start rallying, and if not, they already have. ADA's trying to hold this level. Great. So you can see ADA on this level. That's a breakout trade. If it breaks above it, it should go long. In the shorter time frame, it's actually looking to hold this level. So it's looking good. ADA's looking good. Ethereum sideways. Solana shit. I did call for this to be accumulation, this range, but it looks like it's losing it. So that's my next level down. That's what I reckon Solana's headed to. Next stage. Matic, 50% either way. Got no idea. And looks like Moonbeam has dropped, and it's likely to come down to this bottom section. So I'm just going, I think the Moonbeam is going to be around here. We'll keep dropping. TRX, it's all over the place. It's ranging. So it's in this mid-range. That was a short for me. And hopefully it continues. I do talk about this. There's a bullish divergence. This will come down and hopefully it bounces up. AVE, don't worry about AVE. And I had OP. Where's OP? Which optimism. I'm still looking for the bottom. So if that's the bottom, maybe should have just average in. But optimism, I think, is a big coin in the future. And yeah, what a mess. Well, you missed a whole lot of stuff. But anyway, these are small range trading. So I've traded this. I traded this range, and I made some good money. But I was hoping it will continue, and so I'd still made money, and I got out when I thought I should get out. Simple rule: get out. Trend line breaks, get out. But you've got to make sure you get in. So this one, optimism, is I think it's going to be big in the future. So you want to get that when the end of the bear market. You want to get these coins for sure. My favorite, guys, is TrueBit. Okay, we traded this. Look at TrueBit. TrueBit, and it's a MetaMask. Went down to 6 cents and hit, and this is the bear market, and it went up to pretty much 40 cents. So that, where are we? Price, that is 5x, nearly 5x. Compared to all the other charts, this is great. Long-term wise, I recommend TrueBit for a lot of reasons. I traded TrueBit back. Let's see, go back one sec. TrueBit is a project that people don't know about. So I traded that one. It went up to, so when was it? End of December, it went up to nearly $1 from 20 cents, 18 to 20 cents. So I entered this range and took profit. And now I'm just looking at, I'm still holding my coins. I'm buying the dips, and I'm going to keep buying the dips until I think it's done. So what is TrueBit? Actually, if you want to hang around, I'll explain for TrueBit. Give me a sec. Share it with our group. Might be on my chart too. I did a Visio. So when I do this, you can search it. I do hash. I tag them, Actually, it might be on my, actually, I'm not sure where it is. There's a video. I'll go to my Twitter. I do believe I shared it. Damn, where are you? It's got to be on Discord. It's got to be on my Discord. It's worth watching. I'm just going to tell you where it is. It's a business model. Okay, just all right. I didn't put it there either. Where the hell did I put it? Okay, someone's joined. USR 5000. All right, I'll fix you up. So basically, what I do with these guys that join, I add you to our trading community and say welcome. Let me see. Oh, here it is. It doesn't open. All right, so here's the model, guys. Sorry for the cough. Give me 1 sec. Have a look at that chart and I'll explain it. So this is a true bit model if you're interested in. Okay, so Peter Thiel, if you know him, he was part of PayPal. He's also created a founders fund. He's also involved in these 5 groups, right? PayPal, Elon Musk, Steve Chen, Fred Isham, and a whole bunch of stuff. Peter Thiel funded Vitalik's Ethereum project. Charles Hoskins, Christian, Jason, Vitalik, and Gavin Woods, all part of the Ethereum project. Charles gone created his Cardano, Vitalik, Ethereum. Gavin Wood done DOT and Kusama, as well as the Solidity program. And if you look at it, these 2 other guys, they created TrueBit. TrueBit is like smart contracts, artificial intelligence, very smart programming for Ethereum to reduce. It's pretty much like Optimism, but on turbo. No one knows about this one. You can see Fred Isham, who's part of Coinbase, who founded Coinbase. He's part of Paradigm. Paradigm is a $1 billion company of investors. Comes to TrueBit. Peter Thiel, Free LAU, is also part of this guy. So this directly, Peter Thiel is directly involved with this TrueBit. And Theta is Steve Chen, who co-founder of YouTube, is also doing Theta, and Theta is pretty much the 3 web version of YouTube. So that's what's coming. And yeah, I'm into DOT. I'm not into Kusama. And Cardano I'm into, and TrueBit. If you get the bottom, it's going to be huge. And that's my tip for long-term investors. So that's why I'm pretty much into TrueBit. If you know about investing at the right time, accumulation, you can get these spikes. TrueBit hasn't had its turn yet. So if you give it 5 years, who knows where that's going to be. At the moment, it's 25 cents. You hit 40 cents in this bear market, and if it comes back down to this level, I'll say buy. If the market really drops, but this is the bottom, and it might not come down there again. But that's my tip for you guys. It's a good project, and that's all I can say. I'm currently looking at selling and buying, and just accumulating more true bit for the long term. So my strategy is that if I put 10K on it, I try to make as much coins as I can with that 10K for the long term. And if I feel like there's a good time to buy at the bottom, I'll probably add more funds. But my job is to accumulate as much as I can with those funds. So that's a wrap, guys. So that's I thought I'll